Yes, we are doing the Terraform demo, and
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Yes, it's a Terraform Accelerator that helps DevOps engineers more quickly implement Terraform in enterprises, isn't it?
Yes, that's
It's
correct.
good for the Enterprise Edition and the Open Source Edition, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
With different value propositions for each. The open source, while a company doesn't have to pay for the software, there's a lot of functionality that this Terraform Accelerator provides. And an Enterprise Edition, you want to make sure to take advantage of everything you've paid for, and therefore the accelerator and our services that are associated with it on an ongoing basis are useful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Is there a presentation and demo that you wanted to do for people today?
Yes. Let me pull up my slides, and I can share my screen and whatnot. And
Okay. I'll do a quick introduction for you as you do that.
sure.
This demo, there's John. John is a senior DevOps engineer at xOps. He comes with a long resume of successful DevOps projects and successful Terraform projects. He's our lead engineer on Terraform projects, and in particular, this accelerator helps with Azure and AWS currently. And John, I understand you've planned on some Google Cloud support coming up.
Yes, that's correct.
Great. And we are xOps, and xOps is an IT services company that specializes in DevOps and infrastructure as code. And we build accelerators to help our customers and others in the open source community do DevOps better and do more DevOps. John, thanks for taking some time out this afternoon. I know you're always busy on client projects, but thanks for taking the time out to show us all the accelerator, the Terraform Accelerator.
Yeah, of course. It's always my pleasure, and I'm always happy to. I've always been a big believer in education, and I'm always happy to take time to share knowledge and hopefully be entertaining.
I'm sure you will be.
Sure. So let me share my screen, and I can get to the slides. So yes, so as mentioned, this is the Terraform Accelerator, and we are engineering a robust enterprise-grade infrastructure platform. And as Larry mentioned, I'm John Best. I'm a senior software engineer here at xOps, and I've been, for the last several years, I've been leveraging advances made in modern infrastructure platforms to deliver very successful outcomes for many clients across many different industries, including both private sector and government. And I'm also an experienced open source contributor as well. And as Larry mentioned, we're xOps. We are a global company consumed with using technology to improve the operations of the world, and that's something that we very much believe in, and we have a long track record of success, which I'm definitely very proud to be a part of. I think it's I've learned of quite a lot since I've been here, and it's been a great honor. So for those of you who don't know, what is Terraform? Terraform was originally created by the HashiCorp Corporation to leverage infrastructure as code and leverage infrastructure tool sets to make building, operating, destroying, versioning infrastructure safely, easier, efficiently, and at scale. And Terraform does this through a declarative language called HCL, or HashiCorp configuration language. And it's very easy to learn, even if you're not tremendously experienced. I told one of our other engineers that it was like reading a book, and I still stand by that because I think it's a great language. And xOps had partnered with a startup in New York City called Luca, and we embedded a team of 3 engineers, including myself, to design and deliver a fully automated cloud infrastructure solution in AWS to leverage Terraform to manage their infrastructure as code. And that was what led us to design and develop this accelerator that we were talking about today. And xOps is actively working on leveraging new features in Terraform, as well as developing relationships and partnerships with HashiCorp and others in the open source community. So how does Terraform work? The first step is called initialization, and it's relatively easy to set up. Backends are easy to configure. As you see in the code snippet at the top, that is literally all it takes to set up a Postgres enabled backend, which I always thought was great, but it supports multiple ways of managing its database, which is called a state file. Many organizations either use Postgres or an S3 bucket. It's configurable in multiple ways, which is very thoughtful when it comes to extensibility. And the next the next phase is called plan, where Terraform basically gives you a list of the kind of resources that it intends to provision, and if something doesn't look right, you can fix it before it goes live, and so on, which is great. Oh, and the I'm sorry, my slides are wonky for some reason. And the next phase is called apply, which basically, after it gives you the list of the resources that it's going to provision, that it'll go whatever provider you're using, whatever cloud provider you're using, whether it's AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, what have you. It'll go in and provision those resources automatically. And at the bottom, you can see a little snippet of JSON that'll give you that is basically how Terraform stores data inside of whether it's a database table or what have you. So that's more or less how the process works, and it can be more or less complicated depending on the kinds of resources that you intend to provision. So with that out of the way, I suppose it's time for the demo.
It's time for the demo, John. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. And I apologize.
Okay.
I don't know what happened with my slides, but
They look fine. I'm sure everyone understands them.
yeah. So with that, I will share my screen. Share my screen as far as the my terminal. And can you see?
Yeah, it looks fine, John.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm here in a Terraform directory, and it can, and I've already run the initialization steps, but just so people can see what they are. When you run Terraform init, like I said, that is what initializes the database, and so on and so on. And as you see, Terraform has been successfully initialized. If you ever change anything, it tells you to run that command again so that it can reinitialize itself. And then plan. The plan step, as I said, basically generates a list of resources of what it intends to provision, and where it says known after apply, what it does is there are sets of variables that Terraform calculates. Terraform will calculate that ID based on the results that it receives from AWS. So AWS will generate whatever ID numbers that it needs and feed that back into Terraform, and that's what it. And once Terraform knows what those are, then it will, then obviously it will store all those values that they get back from AWS, and that's basically how that works. And then the next phase is called apply, which, as I said, it'll take that list and go and provision those resources. Then it will ask you, do you want to do this? You have to type in YES, so it's a deliberate command, rather than just something you can do by accident or whatever. And yeah, as you see, it will keep going. And that's basically how that works. And our modules are easily configurable to you can easily extend them to do whatever you like.
If people want to get hold of this, John, they can get in touch with us at xOps.
Yes.
It's in a private repository, and you can help them and give them access.
Yeah, that's correct. I would be happy to help whoever may be interested.
Great. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I mean, I think that's the long and short of it. If organizations have needs beyond the basic accelerator that we provide, we would be happy to entertain engagements as far as maintaining and extending that accelerator to meet individual client needs.
Great, thanks, John. You want to just flash up the final slide? Is it easy enough to do that where people can get a hold of us?
Oh, yes.
If not, I can tell them.
Yeah.
www.xops.it and at xOps.
Yes. Yes. At xOps, and our website is www.xops.it.
Great. Thanks, John.
Yep. You too, Larry. Thank you very much for the opportunity.